Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Papaw's place. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in anytime you feel, my friend. Guys, if you ever had a sand filter pump start just leaving sand in your pool, I'm going to show y'all what the sand looks like when it settles. See all the sand settlement in the pool. Well, my VEVOR sand filter pump started doing that the last time I backwashed it. But there in the beginning I thought, well, when I backwashed it, maybe I was in a hurry and I forgot to put it in the rinse cycle and let it rinse to settle the sand back down in the tank before I turned it to filtration. But we vacuumed all the sand out, and every day we'd look, there'd be more sand in there. Well, I knew what the possibilities could be, and I'm going to show y'all that in case you have a sand filter pump. You ain't got to purchase you another one. Sometimes you can fix them pretty easy. But me, I had the Game Pro pump that I had in the beginning, which is a smaller pump, which now it don't matter to me to have the smaller pump because I'm not using this Polaris 65 anymore. That's a vacuum sweeper, and it took a bigger pump to run it. That's why a lot of people didn't like these, because they get them and they say they don't work or they just wind up in their pool. It's because their pumps wasn't big enough. And it is a big pump, like a 1 horsepower motor pump. But anyway, that's over because I don't use that no more, because I use these 3 vacuums I'll show y'all. I use 3 styles of vacuums, and I usually put one in every morning and one in every evening because we got these trees with leaves and it's always something blowing in the pool. But I got this little Seagull SE, and guys, believe it or not, that little fella, as small as it is, works great. But when it's bigger stuff in there and a lot more leaves, I use this Poolmate Hydro 3S. It's been doing great. I've done a video on it showing that it's even got an app you can use to turn it on and off with, but it'll climb the walls and all, which of course I don't use it climbing the walls in that above ground pool. And then this one here is the pool blaster you put on a pole, and just like that sand in there, it'll really suck all that sand out. If you just got like sand settled on one spot or just something small you want to get out quickly, these are very handy. But all 3 of them are extremely good pool vacuums. This one here is a little complicated until you learn how to turn it on. You turn it on and it comes on them 3 lights: auto, floor, and wall. But then after them lights quit blinking and the green light comes on, you flip it to off and back on. And if you want just floor, you leave it on. It took me a little while to figure that trick out because I was wanting to turn it on and get it set before the lights stopped blinking. But anyway, this video ain't about the pool vacuums. Let's get back over to the pool pump. So if you're getting sand in your pool from your pump, that could mean multiple things. And I'm going to show you down here on the bottom, this part goes inside, which I'd have to take these off to get it back in there. So you got to get a couple of them off, stick it in, then screw them back on with your hand. But a couple of things you want to check is make sure these ain't busted, the little screens here, and letting sand go in there, or any of this bottom piece, which mine all look good. But one of the first things I thought may have been wrong with this one, this VEVOR has a tube, fastens on the bottom and comes up. And I said, I bet that tube, when I backwashed it, it blowed that tube off and now it's sucking sand down the bottom. And it could have, because it was under sand when I took it apart. But anyhow, I just put mine back on there. I actually put a new tube on there. I had a little softer tube that fit on there, and I zip tied it so it'll hold it on there and make sure it don't come off. But that's something that could go wrong. But here was my problem. As soon as I took the top off of this tank, when I pulled my top off, this was still sitting there, and I said, that ain't supposed to be sitting there like that. And this is going to be an easy fix because really doesn't nothing break. But this piece is supposed to be molded on there, and you can see in there it's like it was glued on, and probably the last time I backwashed it blowed it off. But I'm going to get me some 100% silicone, put on there and glue this back on, and I think she'll be as good as new. So that's what my problem was. Now, if it's a more major of a problem, it'd be inside your valves. Now, I'm not going to take the valve part apart, but it could be inside your valves not closing off right. But I think right there was my problem. Because if this is done blowed off of there, that means it was letting sand come around it and go back into your return water. And it didn't have to be blowed off like that far. It could just been a little bit, just enough that little fine sand can go through there. And I sure believe that's what my issue was. But I'm gonna put this one back together. Like I said, I'm gonna get me some 100% silicone, and I'm gonna glue this back on. That way if something happens to that pump, then I still got another backup sand filter pump over here. Now this VEVOR pump here I've had, I can't remember if it's going on the 3rd year now or this is going on the 4th year now. But I've had no issues out of it other than one thing, and that ain't a big issue. On this VEVOR pump, when you take the strainer basket off here to clean, the way their gasket goes in there, it's got to be just right. You got to put your basket in first. Then you got to get this just right. And if it ain't just right, it's sitting down in there, you got to get it down in there perfect. And then put this on, and usually I would have to tighten it way tighter than it needed to be tightened not to leak. Like I said, I got 3 years out of it. It really needs a new O-ring, but I looked online and I don't see where they can get one of these O-rings, and this ain't no regular style O-ring, so you can't just run to the hardware store and get one. So that's my negative on the VEVOR pump, even after having it all these years. So VEVOR, if y'all watching this and you still making these pumps, you need to change it on the way this is, because most of the other styles, it's just got a round O-ring that a man can just run to the hardware store and get one to replace it with if it starts going bad. I even had a guy email me about this exact deal. He was having so much trouble, and I just told him, I said, well, it ain't but one way that this has to go in there. And it's got to be seated down in there just right. And it's got a little lip on it, on that one side. I said, and then I usually have to tighten the crap out of mine. Well, I never heard back from him other than he appreciated me telling him that, so I'm assuming he got it figured out. But the motor and all still running good, everything's good on it. Like I said, if you got one that's sucking sand in your pool, that's the parts you need to check out and hope that's what it is. Now I'm sure, just like this right here, I couldn't get that one part from VEVOR anyway if this was busted. But what I could do is take this one part, take me some 100% silicone, and I could seal that one off, and it still got plenty of more to suck through, and it would still work, especially in a small above ground pool like this. So you can fix things if you'll put a little thought to them. But guys, as I said, I hope that gives you a tip. Maybe if you look up videos why your pump's blowing sand in there, maybe that'll help you out. Because this may not look the same in other brand pumps, but it's the same basis. It's going to have a tube going down through there, and it's going to have some kind of filtration screens that's not supposed to let sand get into it. Like I said, they all don't have this tube coming up. I really don't know the purpose of that tube. But I know if that tube was off down under there, that's a way sand could get in there. Or when you pull it apart, if you got any kind of issue like that, it doesn't come apart. That's where it's letting sand shoot by and go into your return water. But I hope that helps some of you out. If you have any questions, leave me a question in a comment. Or maybe leave me some other comments and tips down there that could help me or anybody of my viewers if they're watching this. Guys, my pool here, it's Coleman Power Field Pool. We're going on 5 years with it. I never figured I'd have got 2 years out of it when I put this thing up. Now, of course, I immediately got another pump. That little rinky-dink pump comes with them ain't good enough to put in horse trough. But anyway, the next one I get will not be a steel pole rail pool unless I get it on clearance for $350 like I got this one. Because I don't know if y'all see right here, them pipes is starting to rust in too. But I think we're going to get finished the year out, and then we may start the year out next year with a new pool. I don't know if I want to chance it going through a whole nother year. I'm very happy with the time I've got out of this one. Like I said, we come across that in the wintertime at Walmart on clearance for $350. And we're working on the 5th summer right now with it. So, hey, you can't beat that. But I will go with an Intex or something that's not metal pole frame. Because they're starting to rust down there where they touch the ground. They're starting to rust in too. But like I said, we're going to get this year out of it, and then y'all probably see a video of putting up another brand of pool next year. But as always, y'all come back now. Appreciate y'all. Hope you have a great week. God bless. See y'all on the next one. Happy birthday to you.